Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is hard to believe that this day has finally come when I get the opportunity to share with you the extraordinary life of an ordinary man who has strived endlessly to attain this pinnacle of success. He happens to be my husband and the loving father of my two children, Mangat and Mohit. He has risen high above his humble beginnings. Born into a very small village called Narkanda in Himachal, not the Narkanda that you see now. It was inaccessible to the basic education. He was the oldest of his siblings and his parents did not have much of an education. Work was hard in the climes of the village. Always the helping and the loving child, he would go all out to help his mother both at home and in the fields.
इतना शराबत बचा था, इतना शराबत बचा था। तेरी दौलत आज सब कुछ आ, तेरी दौलत सब कुछ हो बेटा, सब कुछ ये जानती ते बदे ते बदे भी वही तो उठे जोड़ो ते बदे यहाँ पे उठा जोड़ो को तब देवता लाया बाहर कटा हुए 8 में तब लाया देवता तब ले गए घर उसको तब ले काम करो था पानी जाए तो बोरो ढोलो नाड़ा दो नाड़ा दो ताकि उठे तो करो सब कुछ काम करो था सब कुछ ये ले जाएगा मेरे को बाहर मैं ले जाऊँ उसको उसने बाहर ले जाना उसको जंगल में ले जाना उस टाइम का की फ्लैश नहीं थी कुछ नहीं थी उस बूढ़े को उसने साथ ले जाना देखो मैं कहाँ सेवा की उसने लोगों की क्या सेवा अपने घर में तो की दूसरे की सेवा भी की उसने जहाँ पड़ा सबकी सेवा की उसने सबकी सेवा की.
Since there was no high school in the village, he shifted to Shimla for further studies. Coming from a rural background, unacquainted with the ways of city life, he worked hard to keep up with his classmates, studying extra hard to keep up with his grades. While the students would play truant and bunk schools for the movies, he would stay back. I wish to make a special reference to his close friend and classmate Dr. Rajiv Singh, who stood by him and helped him overcome his initial trepidation and hesitancy.
Mangat, well, like always, I am here to be a part of yet another milestone of your life. You have always made us, our families, our friends, all colleagues, all students, so proud by being the best of best doctors.
For his admission in the degree college, the principal of the degree college discouraged and demotivated him from taking up medical as it was a difficult course. He insisted on joining it and worked very, very hard and was ranked 7th in the merit list which came in the paper. And at that point of time, the same principal came down and hugged him, saying that he had learnt a lesson never to discourage any student. His grit and determination and of course relentless hard work helped him gain entry into the medical college, which was a huge achievement. And this is where Jab we met. But I'll come back to the story a little later. Graduating from medical college, he wanted to opt for a job so that he could help out the family, which was into immense financial crisis. However, his astute and ambitious father had heard about something like a post-graduation to become a big doctor. So he was persuaded to join the postgraduate course, and thereby he landed up in PGI Chandigarh. He had a very able senior teacher, mentor, his guide, Professor Amod Gupta.
I've had a unique opportunity of knowing and working very closely with Dr. Mangat Dogra over the last 40 years of my working life in the PGI. Way back in 1980, when I was on the threshold of joining as a lecturer in the department, a young, handsome lad, simple but charming, came from Himachal, always with a bewitching smile on his face. Soon he caught imagination of all all the residents in PGI. He was one of the most sought after resident, be it for performance on stage or be welcoming the guests in the Bhargava auditorium of the institute for the PGI functions. I can rightfully claim to be the sole recipient of his unstinted support, friendship, his fellowship, his confidence, his trust, and above all, his respect for me during all these years. And these only have grown manifold. One event in the early 90s would change the course of his life forever, and also the millions of patients whom he would touch over the next several years and decades, when he availed the 2-year Vitreoretinal Fellowship offered by University of Maryland in the US.
Dogra, whom I call as Mangat, has been a wonderful friend, and I had the great privilege of having him as a fellow, retinal fellow at the University of Maryland in the 80s. I selected him on a number of recommendations, especially from Dr. Amod Gupta and especially from Dr. Pathak, who was also my mentor when I was at PGI. And Dr. Dogra was a great addition to our fellowship program. He's one of the best fellows that I trained. And out of all of my fellows, he's one of the fellows who has excelled my expectations.
Under the tutelage of his mentor, Dr. Lakhan Par, he completed his fellowship in retina and then joined as a consultant in PGI.
It was around this time that the neonatology department was setting up a NICU unit in PGI under Dr. Bakhu and Dr. Anil Narang. They were having their successes in saving these very low birth weight babies. I distinctly remember Dr. Anil Narang asking me a question: who would take on the onerous task of examining and screening these ROP babies? While I hesitated, who else but a self-assured, highly confident Dr. Mangat Dogra, freshly returned from the US, offered to screen these babies, took on this challenge, and as they say, the rest is history. The teeny weeny babies he saved the site over the decades are having their own babies now.
My narrative would not be complete without a very special mention, Dr. Jagat Ram, the present director and a very dear colleague of his. Their friendship and rapport is well known and dates back to many, many years. It was the greatness of Professor Jagat Ram that Dogra got the opportunity to head this department.
My association with Professor Mangat Dogra is over 45 years, out of which 40 years is in PGI Chandigarh. My tryst with Dr. Dogra in PGI came way back in June 1979, when I came here for my MS counseling. Unaware of the process, I was sleeping outside Kerom block under a eucalyptus tree. Dr. Dogra appeared as a savior and took me for counseling for my turn, and I was selected. In 1993, when I was selected for WHO fellowship in USA, he helped me financially even without asking for it. He is a smiling legend, always ready to help and guide. For me, he is more than my elder brother. Dr. Dogra is a great team leader and keeps everybody together, which has been instrumental for the harmony of the department. The mutual trust between the team of our teachers, Professor Amod Gupta, myself and Professor Dogra helped build this department from a small corridor in Nehru Hospital to the Advanced Eye Center of international repute.
At a personal level, I met my partner in the medical school. Being consecutive in our roll numbers 25 and 26 as M. Dogra and M. Sharma, we were frequently thrown in together during classes and practicals. So you could call it destiny at work. What attracted me towards this well-behaved young man was his innate humility, his ready and disarming smile, which still continues to attract and impress me, and his attitude towards his classmates and his teachers. Coming from very diverse backgrounds, I still decided he was the man for me. It has been a very fulfilling life where he has always helped me shape my career, always backed me. And Dr. Dogra, I still love you the same as much as I loved you that time. And this I'm saying from the bottom of my heart. My son is following his footsteps in the same department. Mohit, the bar has been set very high for you and you will have to work very hard for it. My daughter is his favorite person and holds a special place in his heart.
Papa, a very big congratulations to you on your superannuation. I wish I could have been with you to celebrate. You have always spoken very passionately about your journey as an ophthalmologist. I remember asking you once if you ever regretted coming back from the US professionally, to which you promptly said no. And the reason you gave was that you got to work in a world-class institute like PGI. One thing I want to thank you for from the bottom of my heart is for being my father. You are undoubtedly the nicest, kindest man I have met in my entire life. Speaking of your greatness, there's one last story I'd like to share. It's imprinted in my mind. I was 10 years old. You and I had gone to Hatu temple in Narkanda. After darshan, on our way back, we met a group of 3 people who were on their way to the temple. They must have been your age or slightly younger, and they met you with a lot of love and admiration. After you had introduced me to them, one of them said something that has stayed with me ever since. This gentleman, with his hands folded towards you in respect, said to me, "Why do you need to visit a temple when God lives with you?"
So as he bids goodbye to his alma mater and a department he loves as his own to begin a new innings, his rewarding voyage should be a beacon of inspiration for all who are willing to give everything to succeed. And last of all, I have just one word for you, as the new generation would say, Mangat Dogra, you are awesome.